This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on? You know, after the last show I did earlier, I was thinking, I don't remember all the details of this case because I was focused in on just the new video. So I thought I'd go back in time. I'm not going to play my videos, but I found all the for some reason it's not in newspapers.com, even though that's 2 years ago. So, but it was on, obviously it was on the internet, so I've got all the files from right around that time and through, all the way up until, the recent development where they released the doorbell ring camera, the ring doorbell camera, whatever the hell you call it. And I don't need it. Oh, well, great, it's actually the ring door, All right, hey, Sarita, let us know when you come back, all right? Yeah, hey, when Sarita comes back, make sure to welcome her. Oh, hey, thank God. Tell you what, I'm going to hold the show. I'm just kidding, Sarita. Alright, so I don't know, for those of you who missed it, I added another clip to the clip that I made. So I'll play that, and then we'll go back in time, alright? Let me turn down this music all the way. Okay, so here it goes. Here comes the I think it's 4 or 5 sequences, or it's the whole thing 5 times. It's like 10 minutes long, okay? Then after that, we'll go back in time. All right, but this should give you basically all the different looks that you might be interested in trying to look at. All right, so here goes. See, I think that was her, like, clicking on something. Like stamps. I don't know, like a label gun or something. That's what it sounded like. And there is actually audio there. Gosh, you might be right. Consicle. Good morning. That is... You know what sucks is right here. I mean, that's actually the clothes that person's wearing. You can see it right there. If they were just over another 1.5 feet, maybe, you'd get a. It'd be really hard to determine still, but at least you could get a little more information. And that right now they're running back to the car. You can actually hear the door shut. I think it was right there, and then. Yeah, she says that wasn't him. That was her that said good morning. His voice is in there. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a guy. You know, I'm 100% convinced it's a guy. Okay. It is. You know, everything's possible until you get the actual answer that it's a female. I just don't see it at all, and it would actually shock me if it turns out to be a female. But it won't bother me like, oh, wow. It's still, you got to keep going with the case. Whenever new information comes, you go with that. And if you don't have an actual fact, you got to use reasonable thinking and logic and reason to come up with what is probably the most likely, what's going on. Like, for example, in this case, this is a guy, in my opinion, it's a guy who went there specifically to kill her, knew somehow that she was going to be outside during this time, drove around, made sure the coast was clear, then walked up and executed her. All right? That's what we know for sure. We know that she was executed for sure. I don't know 100%. I'm 99.9% sure that it's a guy, because I actually hear his voice in there. You'll hear it better in the next clip that comes up. See, in this one, I boosted up the audio levels. I'm not really sure what's going on with the other audio that's in there. I don't know where it's coming from, or is there a radio playing? See, like right there, you can hear the car. It sounds like revving its engine, and it went right by on that reflection off the glass there. And here it comes. Then it turns around and pulls up just out of the camera view. You'll see the front, the headlight area right here in a minute. She was married. See, I don't know what that sound is there. I just don't. Here's what I don't know, everybody. Did we get the actual recording right from the camera? Or is there any kind of ambient sound, like somebody recorded the room audio and there was a little bit of sound? I don't know. I can't give you the answer to that. So I don't know what that extra sort of EVP bullshit sound is that, man, you can guarantee yourself those guys are going to jump on it. Good morning, she said. Now watch, you'll hear the man's voice here in a minute. Watch. Can you hear that? That's definitely a guy's voice right there. I mean, that's just cold as hell right there. And now watch, you'll hear the door. Watch. See, you could actually hear the door shut on the camera right when it's supposed to. And they got the hell out of there. I'm just playing this again. Then we're going to go back in time, get caught up on the actual facts and see if it means anything. But I mean, there's 4 different clips here edited differently, so. Yeah, it's a man in a costume. We were all saying that 2 years ago when we went over it. Looked like a wig, cowboy boots, something like that. So this is all, both of these are synced up. So the Ring doorbell camera and the one on the right. The wide shot. Thanks, LM. I don't think I'm going to be doing a later show, so I'll probably do this one till about 7:30 and relax. I'm tired. A lot of late nights doing the show. Good morning, she said. It's weird. You can almost make out what he's saying, like something. It's weird on the quieter version. Like he says something. Almost. Okay, that's going to drive away. So this one showed them both at the screen at the same time. Then the other one, I'll fast forward a little bit on the next one. Okay, so we'll start it right here. Basically, the first time you can see anything is right here on this reflection right there. And then the car pulls up. Man, how weird is that? She's out there. She doesn't think anything of it. Probably just some guy going to work. Then the car turns around down the street. And then I think you can see, I don't know if I've kept it in there or not, but okay, here we go. So it's turned around and it's going to pull up right here. And then you can actually see the person get out of the car right here and walk in front of the headlights. If they were getting out of the other side of the car, you wouldn't have seen them go in front of the headlights. See, right there. Good morning, she says. She says good morning right as she's going around in front of, he's going around, or it's a he, in front of the headlights. Has a gun out already. Ah, dude. It's a monster. Yeah, I think it was Liz was her nickname. Yeah, well, the thing is that the only people that knew, she didn't publicize her, it was like an impromptu garage sale. She didn't publicize it. She only told people at work and her husband and things like that. So that's interesting. Well, it doesn't look like a woman to me. I mean, I know what you're saying, sure. I mean, she's dressed like a woman, yeah. Let me go back in time. I'm going to go to the one where it's zoomed in. Look. Women don't do the kill shot that's coming up. Watch this one right here. This one. That's a guy right there, okay? And the way he's, the run back right there, that's how a guy runs. The whole thing, it's definitely, to me, if it turns out to be a woman, will be shocked. I gotta be honest. And I heard his voice. You know, you could actually hear the voice back there. I mean, it was really clear. No, he ran back just like a guy runs. I know you like being the contradictory one, but no, that's just not true. What do you mean he looks 19? What the hell are you talking about? How can you tell he looks like he's 19? Give me a break. If it turns out to be a 19-year-old, it would be pure luck that you got that. There's nothing in that from this costume that you can go, oh, he looks about 19. That's insane. Looks like to me like a baby doll dress or something. You know, I don't really know. You know, I don't buy these kind of things. I guess you could tell me what she's wearing. But that's it. $19. That's hilarious. Yeah, I thought he ran back quickly, looked totally normal. Here, watch this. Like it's like the total man jog. It's just, I don't know. Don't see a woman in there at all. There's not one motion in there that I ever thought, even originally when we watched it, that I went, oh yeah, look it. We don't know if they have long hair. It's a wig. Kina K, right? Easy. The whole outfit's not his. All right, here we go. All right, so that is it for that. Now I'm going to open up I'm going to go back in time, all right? So this is an article from the...
I've been dealing with digestive issues pretty much since college.
I'll play it after that's over. But this is right when it happened. I think even the same day. A woman was shot multiple times at point blank while standing in her driveway, has died. Let's see. Barraza was shot at the 8600 block of Cedar Walk Drive at around 7:30 a.m. Police continue searching for the suspect who walked up to her and shot her while she was standing in her driveway. Surveillance video shows the suspect walking up to Barraza, who was setting up for a garage sale in her driveway, and shooting her 4 times. All right, the shooter then turns and runs off to a vehicle and drives away. So here's some footage from a lot of ads on these sites for some reason. I guess they just like making money.
And hoping for an arrest soon in this case. Tonight, a man walked through a subdivision for a purpose.
Thanks, Cole. What do you do about it?
I was wanting to start doing like a night watch kind of thing, like driving around in my own car, like overnight.
To spot the truck that deputies are searching for, as well as its driver, said to be the person who early Friday morning shot a 29-year-old woman identified as Elizabeth Barraza. She was in the driveway of her home.
She had the garage sale to raise funds for their anniversary. See, if you go through these articles, it makes the husband seem less likely. I know everyone likes to think that, but
preparing for a garage sale when the suspect approached her, fired 4 shots. Barraza died from her injuries.
That's a much clearer version. I wish I could have the original.
Today.
I'm still not believing it, you know, and not believing it that it's this close.
The neighborhood is home to families. Most can't.
So that's actually, there's that treadmill right there that you could see in the video, or whatever. It looked like or an exercise machine of some sort. It looked like, I don't know, kind of looks like that. But yeah, and these are all some of the other items, and I don't know if she's, I doubt she's not there. She was actually alive apparently when she got there, or when the police got there, and they took her to the hospital, and she was in critical condition. I mean, that's amazing to get shot 4 times like that and even be alive whatsoever. All right, so what I'm going to do now, that was on the 25th. And here, I'll open up Google Earth at the same time. I'm kind of thinking Google Earth and the Adobe Premiere open at the same time might be what causes a problem. I don't know. So, a woman shot point blank while setting up garage sale in Tomball. Home surveillance video shows a woman shot point blank while setting up a garage sale. The shooting was reported at 6:52. See, the husband left at, I think, 6:48. And the shooting was reported at 6:52. So he had just left. The killer knew that the husband left. The victim was left in critical condition, according to Lieutenant Jeff Stauber. The neighbor's surveillance camera captured the graphic incident. It shows the woman in her driveway setting up a garage sale when the suspect approaches. There's a lot more footage. We just don't get to see it, but she goes back and forth. She's just setting up a garage sale. She's going through her items when another person who appears to be a woman walks up. Notice, appears to be a woman. They appear to have a 5-second conversation before the shooter fires 3 shots. The victim falls, and the shooter walks up and fires a final shot over the top of the victim. Yeah, so we all saw that, standing right over, boom, before turning and running back into her truck. I would put his or her truck. It was 3 gunshots, one after the other, and then it was about a second or two, and then another gunshot, yep. Video shows what appears to be a black truck driving away. Our victim was lying in the driveway with multiple gunshot wounds. Later on Friday morning, the victim's husband was seen behind the crime scene tape talking to detectives for a couple of hours. His mother spoke with reporters in a nearby driveway while waiting for her son. She told of the moment she heard about the shooting. I call my son on the phone and I ask, "What happened with Liz and with you?" said Margarita Barraza. So that would be his mom. He just told me something happened in my house, so I have to go back and see what's going on. Barraza said her son and daughter-in-law are Sergio and Elizabeth Barraza. She added they have been married for 4 years and lived in their home on Cedar Walk Drive for 2 or 3 years. She also that's an error in that sentence. She also said Sergio was at work doing flooring when Elizabeth in her late 20s was shot. They just live normal life, said Barraza. They are working and they are good people. Barraza reunited with their son and they left the scene of the shooting early on Friday afternoon. Meanwhile, items that would have been for sale were instead tucked away behind police tape as detectives combed the property for evidence. She has some really nice things, said Cindy Grist, who lives across the street from the victim. I was with her last year when she was doing the garage sale. Grist says the garage sale was an annual event at the victim's home. That's not accurate. I mean, maybe it's accurate that she has a garage sale, but that's not why it was taking place this time at that, on that particular day. Detectives are asking the public for help. All right, so that was on the 25th. Then on the
news, the woman who was gunned down outside her home in Tomball has died from her wounds. Home surveillance video shows Elizabeth Barraza setting up a garage sale at a house on Cedar Walk. Then another woman comes up to her. What happens in the next few moments is too graphic for us to show you, but the woman pulls out a gun, shoots...
Okay, well, I trust you guys can watch stuff like that, so I do show it to you. Of course, I do have a warning at the beginning of my videos.
Barraza twice, then she stands above her victim and shoots again. If you recognize the shooter, please call the sheriff's office.
Okay, so this one...
And we got some breaking news now on the northwest side. Harris County deputy...
All right, so let me open up that. Let me get Google Earth open to the... Oh, we're already there. Good. Right. And then this is also on the 26th, right here. Thanks, Darlene White. Yes, a wave. All right, here we go. Woman gunned down while setting up for garage sale dies. Suspect shot. Let's see. The shooting happened shortly after 7 a.m. I don't think that's correct. It was 3 gunshots real fast. It was actually 6:52, so it wasn't. Oh, it was shortly before it said. Never mind. It was 3 gunshots real fast, one after another. Waited a couple seconds, then another. Sounds really similar. Let's see if this has a...
But we start tonight with a woman who has died after she was shot 4 times just outside of her home in northwest Harris County. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jonathan Martinez.
And I'm Sion Rhodes. Elizabeth Barraza was shot Friday outside of her home in the 11,100 block of Louetta. Today, the Harris County Sheriff's Office tells us Barraza has died. Sally Mamdou live with reaction from her neighbors. Sally?
And see, all the neighbors out here tell me Elizabeth and her husband, who lived at this house right behind me here where the shooting took place, were a pleasant couple. They brought a lot of cheer to the neighborhood through their...
Who cares if he's engaged again? Can you quit bringing that up? It doesn't matter. It's 2 years ago, okay, you guys? I mean, you guys sound really weird. How many years does somebody have to wait after their wife gets killed to be engaged again? All right? Give me an answer for that one. Give me one that makes sense to you. Would it be 10 years? Then you go, well, God, he's engaged again. Oh, my God. Or does he have to sit at home staring blankly so he doesn't get accused of being a murderer because he got engaged for the rest of his life? It's ridiculous. Jesus.
Seasonal decorations that they had in their front yard always. And tonight, this neighborhood out here grieves with his family. The Harris County Sheriff's Office need the public's help in finding the female suspect seen in the surveillance video shooting the victim several times as the victim was setting up for a garage sale around 7 o'clock in the morning. Right now, you're looking at new video obtained by the Harris County Sheriff's Office of the truck the female suspect was driving in when she shot the victim. On Friday, KPRC...
2 years is a long freaking time. And they were only married for 4 years, okay? 2 years is a long time. That's not even suspicious whatsoever, okay?
They obtained this video, but we want to warn you, it's graphic. You can see in this video, the victim was out setting up for a garage sale outside her home. When a black truck pulls up, a woman then gets out, approaches the victim, words are exchanged, and then the suspect fires at the woman multiple...
No, Zozo, everybody else has a heart too. You just see things kind of bizarrely often. It's not weird to be engaged 2 years later. If he was engaged 2 months later... oh, then I might think, wow, that's weird. He must have already knew that person.
Times, one of which while the woman was already on the ground. The female suspect then runs to the truck and takes off.
See, that's so much clearer. You see that footage there?
The woman
it's a lot more,
one of which
you know, you can really see it.
On the ground. The female
see that? The flowing
the
dress.
And takes off, and now the Harris County Sheriff's Office
Thanks, Lee
to identify the woman in the truck that she was driving.
That's getting over somebody quick, 2 years? Man, you guys are nuts. Jesus.
And I can tell you from just being out here for a couple
they were only
of
married
hours
for
while
4.
talking to neighbors, anytime a pickup truck drives by that's similar to that suspect's truck, you tend to see a lot of the neighbors out here just freeze up for a second and stare at this truck. Lots of fear tonight in this neighborhood until this suspect gets caught. For now, we're live in Tomball. Sally Mamdou, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
It's bizarre, the thoughts people have. You know, it's just... that's why, see, here's the thing is, you know, the people in there going, oh my God, he did it because he got married in 2 years. You're the same people that convict people wrongfully when you're in court. Because their attorney would say, the prosecutor would say, and look how quickly he got married. And you go, yeah, man, because I wouldn't do that. No, I'm actually totally relaxed, Haley. This is just how I am. Yeah, it's meaningless. Unbelievable. All right, so anything else in this one? Neighbor heard a gunshot and dialed 911. Okay, so we do have, you know, the neighbor called it in. And then we got one on the 30th here. This is there was a fundraiser. What was it for? I don't even know what it was for, but the information's in here. Probably the funeral, everything. Neighbors heard the gunshots and immediately contacted 911. I think she was a teacher. There were some posts online that were... Who's this person that just typed that in? Yeah, just hide that one immediately. Yeah, that censor, whatever, just, you know, gone. So this is GoFundMe deal that was set up on the 30th of January 30th of 2019. So basically 2 years ago. And on February 1st here, Vigil held for Star Wars fan killed
Your most life-changing sleep is about what
in front of her Tomball home. So let's read this one. Friends and family raised lightsabers. So they were really into Star Wars, and they were part of those little dorky Star Wars conventions, you know. Right? I bet Zozo signs up for those. Right, Zozo? No, I doubt it. I bet she doesn't even watch Star Wars. Elizabeth Liz Barraza, 29, was shot 4 times on January 25th as she was setting up for a garage sale. A neighbor's security camera captured the shooting. Friday night, the driveway where it happened was overflowing with friends, family, and neighbors for the first time. Yeah. How do you know it's a teenager? Casey, you keep talking about it's a 19-year-old. Like, you can't tell whatsoever what the age of that one. It's like the bridge guy people. Oh my God, he's got polka dot underwear on. The bridge guy. I know that's your take, but you have to give reasons for it. You don't have one. So it's just pure guess. And I'll tell you what, if you're right, you should start a psychic channel. Literally just immediately after that. Start a psychic channel and say, look on Gray's show on 124. I said it was a... Yeah. And then you'll get famous really quick. The important thing is to focus on justice for Liz, said Bob Noel. Let's see. The crowd, his daughter was an organ donor who in death helped 4 people. That's awesome. My mom actually had to give donation. When my brother died, she gave my brother's skin, cornea, and I can't remember what else, but you know, I just thought that was so amazing of my mom to have that ability during such a horrendous moment. But it was kind of cool to get letters from people who later said they could see when they couldn't see before. And that's kind of cool, is that my brother's cells in those cornea are looking at things. Isn't that weird? So, anyways. All right, let's see what did it ever play let me stay right here for a second and see what the Vigil, if anybody spoke. I think they did. I don't have any music playing because there's audio in these. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But can we just not do the whole, you know, if the husband seems guilty, maybe it's from something else later, but not getting married in 2 years.
It has since evolved into a nonprofit that
engaged,
provides relief
not married,
funds
just engaged.
to hospitality workers in need.
I mean, they couldn't have known how great this need would be, but boy, the timing on this. ABC 13's Chaz Miller joining us with an update on how the pandemic has changed their role forever.
I don't know what the deal. What happened to the actual? I must have kept playing over it.
Yeah, Elizabeth Barraza was an organ donor. Her father told the crowd her body saved the lives of 4 people. And on what would have been their 5th wedding anniversary, her husband fought back tears during a vigil in front of their Tomball area home.
Yeah. Also, how many women hitmen are there out there?
The important thing here is to focus on
hitmen, I mean.
Justice for Liz.
In the same driveway where Elizabeth Barraza was murdered a week ago.
I'm glad the last things I got to do was kiss her goodbye.
Here it comes. There's no tears, everybody. It's fake.
And tell her I love her.
See?
Family, friends, and neighbors gathered to honor her.
She was just amazing. She was just selfless and she loved everyone.
Most came with a wand or lightsaber. Liz was a big Harry Potter and Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I don't think this is like I don't know who this person is, but they didn't care if it made sound. Maybe in place of a silencer that they didn't have, they put on a costume and they used somebody else's car. So now they knew that they couldn't be traced, right? So with the silencer, you could have quietly snuck up, shot, and I guess it would still be on surveillance cameras, but maybe they weren't as, weren't really thinking about that. I mean, that'd be pretty stupid not to, but.
In life, sometimes channeling a stormtrooper for charity and smiles.
My daughter Liz spent her life healing and spreading love and cheer to all of those around her.
The 29-year-old was gunned down as she was setting up for a garage sale last Friday morning. A neighbor's security video captured the shooting, the killer running away. Another caught the shooter's truck. No one has been arrested. Her family appealed for information.
We need justice for Liz, because we don't understand why.
That message now on T-shirts and bracelets. Her husband, who had just left for work that morning, led the crowd.
To raise our blades, to raise our wands, to raise our lights. And
Hey, Miss H, all you got to do is read the title of the video. Doesn't that work for you?
our hearts.
No, the title of the show that I'm doing.
I love you, Liz. With all my heart.
Look at the lightsabers.
Eyes look to the sky.
We'll never stop loving you.
So we need.
Looking for
I
your
think that's it for
perfect.
that one. Let me move on to. Now we're on to February 6th.
Police are hoping more reward money will motivate someone to come forward about the chilling murder of a Tomball woman. She was gunned down right in her driveway. Police thought the killer in this surveillance video was a woman, but they're not so sure anymore. Jason Miles has the latest on the investigation.
The Crime Stoppers reward now tops $20,000.
It'd be really cool to be able to see the actual surveillance of the husband pulling out of the driveway, which is only 4 minutes prior to the shooting.
Raised by fellow Star Wars fans. 29-year-old Elizabeth Barraza was a big Star Wars fan, and it was a big part of her life. She even volunteered with a fan group at hospitals in the area, including the hospital in which she died nearly 2 weeks ago. Sheriff's investigators still don't have a clear motive for the shocking crime that occurred in Barraza's driveway as she prepared for a garage sale. Surveillance video shows a figure walk up, confront Barraza, then fire multiple shots at her.
I just left for work that morning, and I'm just so happy that the last words I got to say to my beautiful wife was, "I love you," and she said, "I love you too."
A black Nissan Frontier pickup was seen leaving the Barraza's neighborhood. It's not an extremely common truck, so that could be a key in solving the case.
And the thing is, the truck, I think, arrived at the neighborhood before the husband left. Like, he's seen driving around in that car prior. So that's interesting.
Case. Barraza and her husband were going to use money from the garage sale for an anniversary trip.
So did you hear that? They were going to use money from the garage sale for an anniversary trip.
He said he instead had to plan for her funeral. Call Crime Stoppers with any information on this case. Many expect the reward money to rise if it remains unsolved. Reporting from Crime Stoppers in Midtown, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
All right. Let's see what it says down here. I had just, where did it say? I had just left for work, Barraza said. I'm just so happy the last words I got to say to my beautiful wife was, "I love you." Miss Barraza was setting up for a garage sale when she was shot multiple times. Barraza and her husband were going to use the proceeds to help pay for an anniversary trip. I had to trade our 5th anniversary for a funeral. Barraza's father described her as a simple, kind, and generous person, happily living an amazing life of service. She spent her adult life spreading cheer to all those around her. Barraza and her husband Sergio were involved with the 501 Legion and other groups. Those are Star Wars people. Through these groups, they converted a passion for Star Wars into smiles for sick children and adults. So they would go around to hospitals of sick people, maybe kids with cancer, that kind of thing, and wear their outfits and make people smile. Barraza says he and his wife devoted so much time to charity with 501 Legion, helping kids in hospitals and volunteering and community events. He added that Liz died in the hospital she spent so many hours volunteering at. "I need justice," he said.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Rekha Muniraj. First, we are waiting on a special report from Washington, D.C. from the president as it begins. In the meantime, a terrifying video shows the moment a woman walks right up to another woman and shoots her at point-blank range. This happened early this morning, and police are latest. Matt.
Rekha, authorities aren't saying much. They're saying it's still very early in their investigation. But what they are telling people to do is watch this video. See if you can look at it very closely and possibly identify the suspect. Now, the shooting was all captured by a home surveillance camera just before 7 o'clock this morning. What you're seeing is only part of the video. We are not going to show you.
It's just obvious that this was a planned shooting. Okay, there's no doubt about it. There isn't one police officer that doesn't believe that, or detective.
You when the victim is actually shot, because it's just too graphic for television. Now, in the video, you can see the female shooter get out of the vehicle, walk up to the victim, and then fire. After the victim falls, the shooter walks up to the woman, then shoots her again.
Right in the head.
Based on the video that y'all released, if there's anything that they can glean from that video, if someone knows this individual based on the video, I know the video's somewhat grainy, but please call the sheriff's office. We certainly want to get some resolve to this case as quick as possible.
Now, the victim has not been officially identified yet. However, family members as well as the sheriff's office are telling us that she is in her late 20s. Her mother-in-law tells us that the woman and her husband had no enemies. The deputies say the woman who was shot is in, quote, very critical condition in the hospital right now, and so far they have not identified a suspect. We're going to continue to follow this story, bring you live updates throughout the afternoon.
So this is actually aerial footage. I don't think I've seen this. So that's where the street's blocked off. Yeah, let me get the let me go up in the air here and see exactly where they're at. Just a second. Okay, so that house with the, we'll just find that one. It's right there. That's the house we were just looking at. So from looking at that, then you know Barraza's house is right there. It's weird, my brain now, from doing this so long, I can just pick out the homes kind of quick or something. I don't know what the deal, how that, it's like puzzles, you know, when people put together puzzles after a while, you can just do them. All right. Yeah, so it's actually right over here. Yeah. And I think it's actually inside this yellow tape. And it looked like the guy flying around's confused. I wish there was helicopter. There it is right there. Okay. So it'll be interesting when it goes around. You know, this unfortunately might actually pick up a pool of blood or something unless they've cleaned it up since then. I don't know. I think that's actually what we're seeing right there. I mean, I don't know if that's right there. Yeah. I think she was right there. Yeah, I think these are clothes. I don't know if that clothing. But I think you could see right back here where that's where she fell down. It was right back on this side. And then like right there. See? Yeah, she had all that clothes set up. Yeah, and see, she was right there, standing next to that table when the person came up. They must have stepped over all that clothing to get to her, though. That's weird. Can you even see that in the video? Let's see. Let me do the close-up one. Yeah, it's like that's the clothing and stuff, just to the left of the clothing. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because the clothing was on the right side and it was open on the left. And so that makes sense. She's standing with her back pretty much. The table's right behind her a little bit. And, yeah. So he walked up right there in front there. Hold on. So that clothing is in that shot. He walked right up like this to her. She was standing right there. She was shot, and then she fell down right over here, and then he shot her in the head, and I think that's the blood that came out of her right there. Kind of weird to see that, but... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the husband here. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but yeah. Yeah, all you have to do is look back. See, everyone's an expert after the Chris Watts case. Oh my God, I could call it. But then they were all wrong in the other case where that lady had her child taken. And they all thought that the husband was the one because he just didn't do well in the interview, except this channel. Or at least me on this channel, right? I was telling you how he was in the interview, and it was the reporters that screwed up the interview. They were so ridiculous to him, okay? And so, you know, just get over it. You're not experts in looking at somebody's body language. You know, we all have that natural ability to see people's body language, but when you're in an interview, a lot of times you have to throw that out the window because everybody acts differently. Hey, thanks, Kit Kat. The Super Sleuths. Yeah, there it is, right there. That's 100% what that is. For a minute, I thought maybe that was blood or something, but that's like a shirt. But right there, definitely the crime scene. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Alright, so that was on... Let me get the next... On the 6th.
Police are hoping more reward money will motivate someone to come forward about the chilling murder of a Tomball woman. She was gunned down right in her driveway. Police thought the killer in this surveillance video was a woman, but they're not so sure anymore. Jason Miles has the latest on the investigation.
The Crime Stoppers reward now tops $20,000. A lot of that money raised by fellow...
Yeah, it's not random. I think it's 1 in a million that it's a random, but you can never absolutely say, you know, but I mean, unless it's a serial killer and that's what their MO is. They go to garage sales in the morning and shoot people and they just look around for who's setting up a garage sale. No. This guy knew, like, the husband was leaving and he kind of waited for the husband to leave. You know, because he would go to work at a similar time, perhaps, on a daily basis. Who knows? But I had just left for work, Barraza said. We already got that part. She spent her adult life spreading cheer. I think that's similar to the previous article. All right, so now we're on the 7th.
The urgent manhunt for a gunman who's seen approaching, then killing a woman in Texas while she set up for a garage sale. Police are pleading for the public's help, and ABC's Marcus Moore is there in Tomball, Texas.
Yeah, so it says at 6:55 a.m., the killer drove up to her home, walked up the driveway, and engaged Barraza. A coward drove up just after Barraza's husband left for work, her father, Bob Newell, said. Barraza was kind and generous. She was holding a garage sale to make extra cash for her 5th wedding anniversary trip. She had such a big heart. Elizabeth Barraza died in the same hospital where the couple devoted so much time. Let's see. Barraza's killer could be a man or a woman, Harris County Sheriff's Office Detective Michael Ritchie told reporters. See, it's weird, too. It's similar to Missy Beaver because, you know, in that case, I think the guy definitely in that one, wearing that whole outfit and everything, definitely seems like it very well could be a female in that one. However, I don't know. I saw a recent video of a security guard in that case, and that person definitely looked like they could have been the one. It was crazy. All right. So now we're moving on to the 8th of February 2019. I'm not sure why it's frozen like okay. Let's read this. As she arranged the items for sale around 7 a.m., a shadowy figure with long hair and wearing what appeared to be a bathrobe approached her. The person then shot Elizabeth multiple times. Sergio had just left for work. Elizabeth was taken to a local hospital for treatment but died. They were lifelong Star Wars fans. This morning I woke up, took a shower, and I'm sitting there sobbing in the shower, said Sergio. Every walking moment reminds me of her. Yep, that's how it is. Elizabeth's father said she spent her life healing and spreading love and cheer. Oh, what a coincidence, huh? Jesus. Hurry up, everybody. Click that freaking emoji. I got to get that going. Holy crap. There we go. Wow. Listen, everybody. How about we just assume it's a guy for now, okay? Let's just not quit trying to debate it and trying to every single freaking nuance. It's really, you even hear his voice, okay? You hear the guy's voice. And we already thought it was a guy, most of us. So at that point, it's probably a guy, all right? So here they are right there. That's them apparently at their wedding, maybe 4 years prior. And this is a Mail Online version of the full video. They pause it here and there. And you can see it's a little bit clearer, I think. Let me move it over here. There we go. Oh, wait, you already been there. Okay, hold on. Right there. Doesn't have audio, though. It's not good enough audio to be able to figure it out. Alright. So, I'm just going back in time like we normally do. What's this one? Not sure, keep us updated. Life flight landed by the daycare. Hope everything is okay. Sergio and Liz are my dear friends. I was wondering if anyone got any more footage other than what the news has posted on the truck. If you have any cameras, look around 2 a.m. Someone said they saw a vehicle that matches turn into the cul-de-sac around 2 a.m. Man, they would have been sitting there a long time. Maybe they're from out of town. And they pulled in there, had to wait because they didn't time their trip well. I mean, if you lived in town, wouldn't you get there at a reasonable time when you knew somebody was going to be there? Like maybe 5 in the morning-ish, you know?
Placed are going to be directed to crime. An unknown assailant murdered an innocent, unarmed, and defenseless.
It's amazing to see how many of us are all here. Friends, family.
KHOU 11 done really good reporting on this
The kind of
case.
person that was never in short supply of any of them. She was the kindest person I knew. On January 25th, Liz and I woke up here together at our beautiful home here. It was a normal Friday. We got ready next to one another. We started to prepare.
God, did somebody actually say up above? I didn't even see it, but based on Cairo's comment, somebody must have said, well, it could have been a woman who smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Things for the garage here. Just behind me. I'm so glad the last things I got to do
Good Lord.
was kiss her goodbye. So tell her I love her. She got to do the same. If I only knew what would be our last moments together.
Yeah, that's what it said in some of the articles, that maybe the guy dressed up as related to a theme, But I don't know. Skywalker didn't have long hair, so not really liking Skywalker, but maybe somebody else.
I would have held her longer. I love her with all my heart. She was my best friend. My love. My soulmate. We always said, no matter what happens in our lives, as long as we had one another,
Yeah.
we'd be happy. Tragically,
But did Obi-Wan
someone
Kenobi have bare legs and then boots on?
destroyed that morning. Now I'm left here, empty and hollow. I have this constant feeling that she's just around the corner, because I can't believe she's really gone and this is real. Today would have been our 5th anniversary today.
Could be, Mag.
She wanted to have this girl.
If I can't have him, if I can't have her, nobody can. And she even knew that she was trying to raise the funds for an anniversary.
Garage sale, even just to have a little bit of extra money for us to have an amazing time. Which we were supposed to leave on Sunday. She wanted to. Sorry. I don't know who did this. I don't know why. Liz didn't deserve this.
See, sadly, he probably had to put a lot of that stuff into his speech because of, the sleuths out there all blaming him on it. All right.
Leading up to the arrest and charging of the suspect and or suspects for the cold-blooded, senseless murder
I don't know, it's on videos.
of Elizabeth Barraza on January 25th, 2019. Crime Stoppers of Houston today is announcing an increased reward. Colleagues, family members of Elizabeth.
Yeah, and he's always been very, he's worked with the police the entire time. He's never been evasive or anything like that, like we see in a lot of the other ones. I'm not going to play all those. All the links to everything that we're doing right now is in the description.
This is my first time trying on.
If you want to go and watch them later, okay? They're all in there. The last one was on August 6th. The one that's 2/19/08/06, okay? So you go ahead and check that one out. I want to know what this new lead is here. This was in August 2019.
Barraza's kindness touched many lives and still does today.
It's all about doing great things for other people.
Liz's passion was for helping others. She was part of a group called the 501st Legion.
It's a group of Star Wars costumers who use their love for everything about...
Okay, let me ask you guys something. I mean, I'm not sure why people are bringing up this transgender crap, okay? It's like people looking for the most ridiculous variation they can come up with, okay? Let me ask you this, though. If it was a transgender female, that means it was a guy that's claiming to be a female. Was the murder claimed by a male or a female? So let's say it's a guy who identifies as being a woman. Would that be a murder by a male or a female? Just curious.
Star Wars to build movie-accurate costumes and then go about using
And if it's a murder by a female, because that's what people on a certain political spectrum would want you to say, then women should be outraged in general to have stats like that added to their numbers when it really wasn't. You see what I'm saying?
To bring joy and raise money for charities. In particular, they would do things like they would go visit some of the children's wards at local hospitals.
Her father says she was loved by many, which is why it's so unbelievable that anyone would kill her. A neighbor's surveillance camera captured the shooting on January 25th. You see the shooter walk up to Liz in her driveway, point a gun, fire multiple shots, and then run away and take off. Detectives have said despite the long hair, it's not clear if the shooter is a man or a woman. Her family has stayed in close contact with the detective.
That's right, you panic. I said that the internet.
Put out there is that he is still...
You can no longer say amen. You must immediately follow that up with a woman.
Still very actively
investigating. Even though that men doesn't mean men. It doesn't mean the male men. It means men like to think.
Getting his case, and right now he's awaiting the results of a warrant that he thinks could possibly break the case.
There's also a $20,000 Crime Stopper reward. Her family is confident the killer will be caught. Today, her spirit lives on. Her father has a tattoo in honor of Liz and the 501st. And he's even become an honorary member of the organization so he can continue her mission to give back. In the meantime, he'll continue to seek justice for his daughter.
If we can get someone...
Oh, by the way, guys, if you'd like to help out on the channel, if you guys send in super chats, it helps my channel out too, but it also, I donate a large portion of it for the regular people that are actually, the freak family we call each other, crime freaks basically. Last year we donated $22,000 to crime-related charities, and we make a difference. Okay, that's what's really cool is we make a big difference. We donate a lot of money to different charities, and this year we've already got $1,000 into a fund that we're building up and donating to charity. But the fund that we're building up is for the identification of individuals who are not identified, for example, like genetic genealogy, basically. It could be for a Jane or John Doe or a criminal, all right? So, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, my bots aren't on, so... Oh, I guess they are. Jeez, how'd that happen? I didn't even turn them on.
And as evil as this, off the streets, that would be an amazing thing. That would be what Liz would want.
So basically what I'm saying is if you ever help this channel out, you can know that a decent portion of it, a nice portion, is going to go to a charity at the end of the month.
Marla Carter, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right. So, is there anything new in this one?
Udemy.
I've tried that Udemy. Did one class that seemed pretty useful, but...
Small painted stones in
January
memory of someone who
27th, 2020, so only a year ago now.
missed, whose life was taken, leaving behind a young husband without his wife.
That was pure agony. I could barely even stand. I think I remember actually almost falling over.
1 year ago to the day, Liz Barraza was hoping to raise money for a trip to celebrate their 5th anniversary. She was setting up for a garage sale at their Northwest Harris County home. Before the sale started, a person arrived, walked up and shot her, then drove away in a dark truck. The video gave no real clue to the killer's identity.
Well, maybe it was a revolver and didn't drop any shells.
And her murder defies explanation to those who knew her.
The shock and horror of it is none of it makes sense. And we know it's not random. It can't be random. So the family just waits.
The Barrazas were active in what's called the 501st Legion, a cosplay Star Wars group. They were happily married, and she was known for acts of kindness.
Snow remover.
A year.
Wow, snow remover. Man, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
After her death, an arrest has yet to be made. But today, the detective assigned to her case says there's been progress and there's a warrant.
The results of that warrant will be very critical to this investigation and most likely expose a suspect and who was responsible for this.
Liz was generous even in death. She was an organ donor so that parts of her live on. And her husband wants her killer to know this.
They didn't win. They might have taken her away from this land, from this world.
See, the thing is the reason this guy, like, he's always out in the media. He speaks with people. He helps everybody. And he doesn't shy away from the camera. Those are usually people that aren't hiding something. Usually, okay? I mean, this guy would be absolutely incredible if he turns out. I mean, he's still going to events a year later. You know, showing up. You know, compare that to the Kelsey Barrett case.
But her spirit is still here with everybody here. The goodness she did in life is still guiding everybody to do good.
All right, let me see.
Boys, game time means.
Now, the shock and horror of it makes no sense. Liz's dad, Robert Newell, said, "We know it's not random, so the family waits, and when we learn who did it, we may learn why, but the why will never make sense." At a park in Tomball, more than 100 people attended an event. She loved fantasy, attended Comic-Con conventions with Sergio, and was known for her kindness and generosity. The question haunting her family is who did it. On Sunday, Harris County Homicide Detective Michael Ritchie hinted at something coming down the pike. He said there is now a warrant in the case, stating, "I feel that the results of that warrant will be critical in the investigation and most likely will expose a suspect and who's responsible for this." Hey, thank you very much, Monica. There's a new family in it. Huh. Yeah, we heard, remember we did an update on the warrant. They just didn't say what the warrant was for. But that was an update we did months ago. So it says, to the crowd gathered in honor of Liz, the person who did this didn't take her spirit and her voice away. A $20,000 reward is being offered. Okay, so there's that. We're getting down there. We've got, now we're on to, when's this one? This one is from July 30th of last year.
Hello, I'm Len Cannon. First tonight, chilling new details into the investigation into who killed Elizabeth Barraza. We're learning what her last words were before someone shot her in her driveway as she was setting up for a garage sale last year. Her murder now getting national attention. Here's Grace White.
It's things that haunt you. The last words she ever spoke.
Elizabeth Barraza's father still can't believe his daughter, who...
Well, I thought you said it was the husband a few minutes ago, Zozo. Now it's the fanatical Star Wars fan. Could be.
loves Star Wars and
Could
Harry
be
Potter.
Could be an alien.
Gone.
As far
I
as
think 2020 is a year that we get a name.
The 29-year-old's case is getting new publicity in People magazine. The Harris County Sheriff's Office now saying Barraza could be heard saying good morning to her killer.
I think the person is wearing just something that makes them completely unidentifiable. I don't think they gave a damn about the, oh, it's Star Wars and stuff. I mean, I don't really, when I look at that costume, Star Wars, even after knowing they're Star Wars fans, never popped into my head. Okay, look, you might say it's a mix between, I was going to say Jabba the Hutt and some sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi combined in one. I don't know, okay, but it just didn't make me go, oh wow, they're straight out of a convention.
January 2019, surveillance video shows the suspect walking up the driveway of her Tomball home where she was having a garage sale.
Look, you know what it looks more like to me? It looks more like the woman in Total Recall that was at the airport it was actually the outfit that Arnold Schwarzenegger was wearing, and it started going and it spread open and then he came out of it. Looks more like that one. Remember that one who was at the airport trying to get out? Yeah. Take a look at that again.
Surveillance video shows the suspect walking up the driveway of her Tomball home where she was having a garage sale.
When you heard your daughter say good morning, what did you think?
It tells me that she didn't know who it was.
Their conversation was muffled but recorded on home surveillance for a few seconds before Barraza was shot.
She probably assumed they were a garage sale customer, and she sounds like herself. It's like a very happy, cheery good morning.
I don't know if you can sit there and make it sound like it. So if he's saying that, then they must have a much clearer version. And then they must have a clear version then of the words said by the killer. Except, I don't know, to me it just sounds like somebody saying, good morning. I don't know. I can't assign like a really jovial, happy sound to it. Hey, thanks, Jen H.
Article also dives into a theory that the killer wasn't working alone. Surveillance footage shows the Nissan Frontier truck coming back. Investigators believe to make sure the job was done.
She said, thank you, Gray, for all your work and your dedication to these cases and the freaks. Yeah. Well, I appreciate all you guys. You guys are kind of the gasoline that keeps the car on the road.
Them circling back, coming back, and driving by the house.
We're all a well-oiled freak machine.
Literally, a few moments later, is proof that there's something bigger at work here.
But what makes this case so puzzling, the work Barraza and her husband were known for, was so positive, making hospital visits with the 501st Legion a nonprofit. This father hoping the time that's passed will help bring new information forward.
Somebody that knows something, their circumstances may have changed. Certainly with this pandemic, there's a lot of folks that maybe $20,000 would be a life-changing amount of money.
Also new, investigators have been able to identify a
God damn, this pandemic's been around a long time. I was thinking, God, that's way before the pandemic. But no, that was 4 months into it.
Maybe on the suspect's truck. They say it's a 2013 or newer black Nissan Frontier with a Pro 4X sticker. There's also a new investigator on the case. The previous one has...
You have to become a channel member to get those emojis, but you can only... I'm getting rid of the first tier at the beginning of the month. It's going to be the only Oogla Boogla freaks and above. And then there'll be 2 more new tiers.
Has been promoted. The family says they're thankful to have the resources of both men. Len?
And if you have an iPhone, there's a link in the description that you have to go to. All right. So now we're on to, this one had some details in it, so I was going to read this. Okay. And this is underneath this story. There's a whole bunch of different stories on this page, but it says, it was still dark the morning of January 25th, 2019, when Elizabeth Barraza and her husband Sergio were arranging items. So the husband was helping arrange items for the garage sale at their house, in their Houston home. Seems like he would have found something else to do if he had anything to do with it at all. They were planning a trip to Orlando to celebrate their 5th wedding. Because it wouldn't be weird, like if he goes, hey, I'm busy, I got to do... I don't know. Stuff like that to me is evidence, like circumstantially, like yeah, he was just helping out. And then you can say, well, he didn't want to make it seem like he was doing anything weird. He was going to work. Let me just finish the sentence. My God, everybody just is so quick to type if there's anything in their brain that's a discrepancy. They were planning, it says right here, Sergio was arranging items for a garage sale at their Houston home. They were planning a trip to Orlando to celebrate their 5th wedding anniversary just a few days away. Liz's father, Bob Noel, was employed at the time and thought adding some things on his own to the sale might be a way to get some needed cash. The night before, he decided his time would be better spent looking for a job, so he didn't make the trip to his daughter's place. So it's weird that, you know, all these stars aligned for the killer, right? Sergio left for work about 6:45, you know, but it was really 6:48, leaving his wife to continue setting up in the driveway. 3 minutes later, a Nissan pickup truck pulled up. The driver, wearing a long coat, got out and approached Elizabeth. The person can be seen and heard on surveillance cameras speaking in a muffled voice for 6 seconds before pulling out a gun and shooting her 3 times. She was screaming, says her father. You can hear it. As she lay on the ground, a 4th and fatal shot was fired, point blank into her face. Her last discernible words were, "Good morning." She does say another, I could hear another word. The first months after she was murdered, we lived in total fear and isolation, says Bob. If this takes 5 years, I don't know what the emotional and physical toll is going to be. Dealing with a murder is the first stage of hell. Dealing with the wait for a suspect and an arrest is the second stage of hell. And then you skip 5 stages and you go straight to the 7th level of hell when there's a trial. Elizabeth and Sergio, both big fans of Star Wars and Harry Potter, paid regular visits to children's hospitals dressed in costumes that are exact replicas of those seen on the screen. They did a lot of things to help sick kids, says Bob. And that's what really just lit her up. We have met so many people that she helped. I never knew how wonderful my daughter was. Elizabeth was pronounced dead a day after being shot, but we kept her on life support so she could be an organ donor. She donated her heart. Wow, that's incredible, but she wasn't hitting the heart from that range. Looked like he shot a couple times like that, which saved her life. She donated both kidneys, which saved 2 lives. She donated her corneas. That's what my brother did. She donated enough organs to save 5 people. Aside from surveillance video, and there, you know what's like I said earlier, what's really cool about that is her genetic code, her DNA is still alive in somebody else. And that it was weird too, because remember, man, you know, and to be honest, if she had donated her bone marrow, as we learned with the Colleen Fitzpatrick interviews, that could have been literally the person turned into the person, right? I mean, they got their whole DNA is part of the body of the person, the donor, you know, the person you give the donation to. That's pretty crazy. A chimera. Aside from the surveillance video, there is no other evidence to go on. That's why the case is unsolved, says Bob. There's no motive. The police have been through everything imaginable. They have torn through every thread of her life. They tore through my life, my wife's life. As the 2-year anniversary of Elizabeth's death approaches, her father is philosophical. There's so much evil out there, and it's so easy to become jaded. I realized her legend of being there for all these people was my salvation. Yeah, man, we say that a lot. There's a lot of mean, evil people out there. Yeah, I did say that. She didn't advertise for the garage sale. And here's the thing. Reddit has a post. I'm not a big fan of Reddit. I think there's a lot of jackasses on there that put fake shit out, and the owners of Reddit don't give a shit. But here I'm going to... I'll read this part. Here's what we know here. Elizabeth, also known as Liz, and this was a post by... Let's see. Who the hell? Evidence of a Crime, looks like. Somebody named Evidence of a Crime. Elizabeth, also known as Liz, was setting up an impromptu garage sale outside of her home to gather some extra money for an anniversary trip she was going to take with her husband Sergio. They had already packed their cases and they were supposed to leave in 2 days. She had taken the day off of work and hadn't told anybody about the garage sale bar. Let's see, garage sale bar, let's see, I'm not sure what this part right here is. Anybody about the garage sale? Oh, and it's saying bar, like other than, a few co-workers, family and friends. Her and Sergio had woken up that morning and placed signs outside the front of their house, but she was waiting to set up before advertising it anywhere. Like, after it's set up, she might drive around and put some signs up on telephone poles. Okay? I know, Gene. Jesus. I'm just gonna... Oh, God. Every time. The footage shows a person pull up a truck at 6:52 a.m. and walk up to Liz. They speak to her around 8 seconds before shooting her 3 times. Elizabeth then falls to the ground, and the unknown assailant stands over her and fires a 4th and final shot at Elizabeth's head before running back to their truck. The truck is now confirmed to be a Nissan Frontier 4x4 with a Pro 4X sticker attached. The police presume the truck is a 2013 or newer. It says it wasn't a common vehicle in that particular area. The suspect had pulled into the area minutes before Sergio left for work. They waited for him to leave before making their way to Elizabeth's house. See, the suspect was in the area before Sergio left the house. I mean, I'm sure these are in different articles and press conferences and things like that. I am going on this, but everything else that they said was accurate, so I'm assuming that this was too. Okay, so take this with a little grain of salt. I don't know 100% if this is true, but I'm reading it as if it is, because it just seems so matter of fact, and there's a lot of other information that is accurate. All right, so suspect had pulled into the area minutes before Sergio left for work. They waited for him to leave before making their way to Elizabeth's house. The police say the suspect drives off and circles back around to ensure. So, when we see the suspect pull off, he actually turns back around and then comes back by. We just don't see that on the surveillance. See, they could show us a hell of a lot more on that camera. And what's weird is, I don't know if that's a Ring camera that they're using. Because unless she was moving enough that she kept setting it off. Most of the time they're motion activated. And so maybe it just meant that she kept moving around and it had enough setting it off that it covered it. Maybe you had if you set it off, you can set it to record for 2 minutes. The suspect had pulled into the area minutes before. We already said that. The police say the suspect drives off and circles back. The same car could be seen driving around the area in Elizabeth's home the night before her murder. So apparently it was there even the night before, just kind of casing it out, checking out what was going on. The appearance of the suspect is heavily debated. Many say the suspect appears to be a man wearing a wig and a costume. Others believe it is a woman wearing what looks like a robe. People often compare the outfit to that of Princess Leia. See, this has already been mentioned a million times, okay? I don't think that looks like Princess Leia at all, okay? I mean, you could... I get what you're saying. Oh, it's a white robe. Let's see. I don't know if I'm spelling that right. How do you spell it? Leia. Okay. Don't type it in. I already know. All right. Yeah, so there's the outfit. The classic Princess Leia. Okay, it does have the white shoes, the long white dress. I guess we could go out there. Let's see. Come on. It's got to kick in. All right. Okay. Princess Leia went all the way down there. She didn't have bare legs and white boots like that. That scared me. It freaked me out. And there was no bun. Like, how come her hair wasn't up in the bun? You know, pull off the full outfit, right? The police believe that this was a targeted attack intended for Elizabeth and not a case of mistaken identity. They say that whoever carried out the attack seemed to be aware of the Ring doorbell security camera the Barrazas had, that they seemed to know Elizabeth would be off work, and that they haven't ruled anyone out as a suspect. I think this was actually covered on the show, the podcast that Paul Holes does. I just saw that prior to the show, so you might want to check that out. They haven't ruled anyone out. They confirmed that they have checked both Elizabeth and Sergio's devices and couldn't find any evidence that either of them were having an affair or being threatened. On January 2020, a warrant was filed by the Harris County Sheriff's Office. They believe the results of the warrant, I remember this exactly, would provide answers. However, the details of the warrant are unknown. Many speculate that the warrant could be linked to cell phone data, which may prove who was in the area at the time. In July 2020, the police provided the last update available in the case. After further analysis of the surveillance footage, they confirmed that Elizabeth can be heard cheerfully saying good morning to her killer. They believe this proves that Elizabeth didn't know who the killer was and furthers their belief that someone was hired to kill Elizabeth. They also confirm, but why would somebody hire her? Yeah. It's definitely possible, but I mean, they haven't found any motive at all. It seems like maybe somebody that just didn't like her and wanted to take her out. And they were also, a hitman would know exactly where they lived and would just kind of, I mean, why would you be there the night before, driving around, and get there really early in the morning and driving around? It just seems a lot of motion, a lot of stuff going on there. The police seem to believe that at least two people are involved. They don't think there's one. I don't know if they think there was one in the car. They just say they have mentioned that Elizabeth's case appears to be a hit in numerous interviews over the last 2 years. Deputy Michael Ritchie, the lead investigator, believes that the truck circled back around after Elizabeth was killed so the murderer could inform the other person that the job was done. So they drove by to make sure that there was a death, and then that's why they think there's another person. It could just be that they wanted to make sure that they were dead because maybe they thought that... See, here's the thing. This is definitely possible. It could be that Elizabeth knew the killer, but didn't recognize the killer that whole time. Said good morning, and as soon as the person got really close, And right there, she finally put 2 and 2 together, and then boom, 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 boom. Right? So that's possible. We don't know. And it could have been, like, he pulls out the gun, and at that moment she's like, oh man, I know who this is. I think that's possible. Elizabeth's husband is often suspected in the case. It is clear that it isn't Sergio carrying out the shooting in the surveillance footage. But many wonder if he was having an affair using a separate device or whether he arranged to have Elizabeth killed. Yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that, you know, everybody speculated about since the beginning. The police insist he has been highly cooperative, and Sergio continues to speak to the police, but many can't shake the comments about the Ring doorbell security camera and the killer seeming to know that Elizabeth would be off work that day. I don't know what the comments he's talking about. I'd like to hear the comments about the Ring doorbell security camera. And the killer seeming to know Elizabeth. So there must have been a comment that the person knew to get right off. I mean, they are right off to the edge, but that's where she was standing. So it could have just been pure luck, right? I mean, he walked straight to her, shot her, stepped over, shot again, then he left. And he couldn't control where she was standing. Hey, end of days, can you write a better sentence than that? That's one of the worst sentences I've ever seen written. Yes. So the thing is he couldn't control where she was, so I don't think it mattered where the Ring doorbell camera was. I think that's kind of weird that they're saying that. He stood right in front of her, shot her, and then even went more to the left, shot her again, then left. All right. So let's just, I'm gonna play this again for you guys. This will be the last thing for the evening, but here we go. It's 10 minutes long, 5 different edits. Too perfect. I'm right here, Sean Beecham. I'm playing this for you guys, though. And I'm almost done with the show, so you missed out again. Yeah? Okay. What does the 17 seconds mean for you, Dana? Yeah, it took about 10 of those seconds walking over there. Now, they said 5 seconds he was standing there talking. Say good morning. There's another sound right there, too. But you can definitely hear the male voice coming up here. Barely. Listen. Yeah, he definitely said stuff to her. You kind of wonder if they have that on, if they know what was said. I mean, they're right there with the camera. They've got the original audio. It's a miracle that her heart wasn't hit, right? I mean, but it wasn't hit, so that's it. There isn't any, anything weird, after that. It's just, well, the heart wasn't hit. There's no conspiracy theory. Now, it's not really that true, Jeff, what you wrote up there. Hitman, sometimes they'll shoot a couple times in the chest and then in the head to make sure, so they don't do 2 to the head every single time. And it really just, who gives a crap, It's obviously a targeted shooting where the intent was only to kill her. There was nothing else, okay? Let's not get bogged down into, well, was it a hitman or another, I've already zoomed in 1,000. We're not doing any more BB Boston. Anything can be zoomed in. Looks like Princess Leia's bun came undone, huh? Yeah, police probably have the clearest version possible of all of these, the originals, and you know they can do what they can do. We already identified. You could just see a second ago the reflection of the car coming. Big deal. The other one is when the shooting's happening. If it was like 4K video and middle of the day, it might have actually helped. Okay, but it wasn't. There's actually a reflection on right back here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the door way up in the right there, this part. So watch right there. You can actually see her moving around in that reflection. So that's her back right up here, right up in the top there. Hold on, let me do that again. Right up, yeah, right up here. Notice how you can see that white area there? So that's her. She was bent down and then she stood up. You can literally see the movement over there. So if they had like a 4K camera, you might be able to zoom in on that, and it had it been in the daytime, and get some other relevant information. I think it's possible with some people. I mean, popular with some people. Zozo. I mean, it's a pretty big industry, actually, but it's not like a percentage of the population isn't that high. See, right there you could hear him. And that's sad. You could actually hear her head hit that cement really hard. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, that's it. I just thought we should go over it a little bit more so we have a better feel for the entire case in case it gets bigger at this point. All right. So I appreciate you guys all showing up here, and we don't know. Yeah, but it's a costume. We don't know if the person wearing the costume was trying to do a Star Wars theme. It's somebody trying to look. Not get caught. Very well could be, man. Maybe she stole a lightsaber that was really expensive at a previous event. I don't know. Okay? All we know is what we're seeing right here. Okay? All the rest is speculation. It's in Tomball, Tomball, I think. I don't know, it might have another letter in it, but like an H or something. But Tomball, Texas, where it obviously looks like the opening scene in the, I think it was either Showtime or HBO show Weeds, where it was little boxes. I mean, look at this, man. Every house is the same, just rotated. Hey, wow, thanks, Mag. Awesome. Got a cat eye donation right at the end. You.
All right. Thank you to LM, Claudia Neubauer, Darlene White, Sariga, Lee D, Jessica Schubach, Kit Kat, Snow Remover, Monica M, Jen H, and Mag.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for showing up. We will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to take the rest of the night off. But you did get 2 shows for the day. Thank you all for supporting the channel. And make sure you wear your mask, maintain your social distancing, and wash your hands whenever possible. Thank you, Dana Dane. All right? Anyways, thank you guys very much. Good night, Mag, 1XE, Lee D, Zozo, Stacy, Gene Fish, Alicia C, Jessica Schubach, Owen, Laura Berger, Deborah Van Cavorden. Hopefully I got that right. Debbie Argus, Jen H, Tracy. Christina Marie, Alicia, Stacy. I already said her. Clean tooth. You got a clean tooth? Missing a tooth is what you're saying? Pillow Bug, Day to Day, Linda Howe, Frazzled Cat. All right, everybody, thank you very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, but rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've attempted to fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Hey, Gray, I have an idea. Could it have been aliens? You know, could an alien have come down and done it?
Oh my God.
Well, I was just wondering.
Probably not, Mary Lou, okay? I think what you should do is read some articles and, you know, maybe learn a little bit more and then come back.
Gosh, Gray, you're so mean.
Wow, you are a baby.
Gosh, John Boy, you're so mean.
Wow, you know what? Those two people are insane. All right, everybody? Thank you very much. And be safe out there. Maintain your social distancing. Wash your hands. And wear your mask, for God's sakes. All right? And for those of you who aren't scared of vaccines, take it as quickly as possible. In fact, grab it from the pharmacist or doctor and jam it into your own arm to save time, okay? Thank you very much. And be safe out there. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Let me see, where's that song? Oh yeah, the Cool Cats song.
All right, Stacy.
Everybody loves Stacy. Stacy's the best.
Staying in my groove. When there's a troll on the move. Nice try, lizard eye. I see you creeping on the sly. Why you think you can climb when you're just a white lie? Hey, that's a good idea, Susanna. I like that one. But it's so discriminatory against the anti-vaxxers. Shouldn't they get the 1400 too?
Oh yeah, don't forget to get Stacy's book, by the way. It's always in the description of all my videos. It's called Death of Nine. The Dyatlov Pass Mystery. On Amazon. Check it out. It's good stuff, man. You feel like you're there, actually. I don't know about you guys, but when you check out Stacy's book, it's as if you were there in the snow. You know, you almost feel like you got to put on a parka and like a bunch of, you know, snowshoes, that kind of thing. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here, so thank you very much, and be safe out there. Oh, and thanks, Cairo. Right at the end there. Thanks, buddy. Oh, yeah, I'll get right on that Watts case. First, I got to go make a call to Anadarko Oil, and then I'll get back to you.